Hi everyone, thanks for joining us for another episode of On Hakko. My name is Kenta, and for today's webinar we'll be going over desoldering, and I'll be covering the FR-410 desoldering stations. I'll be going over the specs, the features, and also a quick demo of the desoldering process with you today. But before we get started on the FR-410, let's just take a quick minute to talk about what desoldering is and why we need it. So desoldering is the process of removing the solder away from your solder joints. Because we all know if you solder, more times than not, or more likely, you're going to need to desolder. We all know that. But why? Why do we need to desolder? There's various reasons, but sometimes maybe the components that you've soldered onto your boards are damaged and they need to be removed or replaced, or sometimes maybe the components are placed onto your boards in the wrong directions and you need to take the components away, switch them around and fix them. In either case, you need to desolder the components from your board, and there's different ways that you can go about this. For example, you can use a soldering iron with one hand, you can use wick in the other and remove the solder using the wick. There's also the way of using the iron and a solder sucker, kind of like this one I have here. Use the iron and the solder sucker in one hand and remove the solder that way. Those are two rather inexpensive ways of desoldering. But today I'm here to introduce or show you guys a desoldering tool, a tool that has the heater and the suction all in one unit, mainly focusing on the FR-410. Here at American Hakko, we have different desoldering tools available, like the FR-301, the FR-410, which I'm going to get into in a minute here, and we also have the FR-400, all different desoldering tools for your different applications. But just to cover them really quickly, the FR-301, it's our portable desoldering station. You can take it out with you in the field. Very convenient to use. It comes with a nice case so you can carry it around with you. The FR-410 is the one I have here. It's our more industrial desoldering station. And we also have our ultra heavy duty FR-400 desoldering station. Those are more for your larger, more robust type of applications. But for today's webinar, we're going to be covering the FR-410. So let's jump right into the FR-410. FR-410, it's our desoldering station. What's great about it is that the vacuum or the pump is already built into the station itself. So there's no need to connect any sort of external air supply to your desoldering station. Vacuum pump is already installed in the unit here. The actual vacuum pump or the vacuum pressure that it delivers is about 80 kilopascals of vacuum pressure, which is about 15 liters per minute if you're talking about the amount of suction flow. The temperature settings that you'll be able to set on the FR-410 ranges from anywhere from 330 degrees Celsius all the way up to 450 degrees Celsius. And in Fahrenheit, it's 620 Fahrenheit all the way up to 850 degrees in Fahrenheit. The power of the FR-410, the station is rated at 190 watts of power, but the amount of power that is being delivered from the handpiece through the nozzle to your application, the handpiece delivers 140 watts of power. That is just about twice as much power when you're comparing it to our older models such as the FM-204s and the FM-205 desoldering stations that use the FM-2024 handpiece. And it's about 3 times as much power when you're comparing to the much older models such as the 472 desoldering stations. Now, those were the specs. Let's get into a little bit of the features and the benefits that you can find on the FR-410. Some of the useful features that it has, you can see on the station itself. It has a large LCD display. You see that I already have it set to 750 degrees Fahrenheit. There's useful features such as password lockouts. You can have auto shut-off features for safety reasons. You can set your auto sleep times. There's also 3 programmable presets that you can program into the temperature, which make it really easy to switch over from one temperature setting to the other. Let me just give a quick demonstration of how to change your set temperature while we're here. You can press any one of these buttons, you press and hold, and then you'll gain access to a set of menus. It says set temp, you just press enter, and then you'll be able to use the up and down and enter buttons to scroll through and make changes to your temperature settings. So right now I'm changing it from 750F to 660F. And there you have it. Now it's the station, it's adjusting itself, going from 750 down to 660F. Now let me show you the other way you can make changes to your temperature setting by making use of the presets. All you have to do is press it one time. You gain access to the preset menu and select, for example, preset 2, which is 750, and there you go. A couple quick presses of the button and I make changes from 660 all the way to back up to 750 Fahrenheit. Again, really easy to change your settings by making use of the by making use of the preset feature. If we could go back to the display really quick, I want to show them another useful feature. I'm not going to get into all the bells and whistles, but I do want to show them the clogging indicator feature that's on the FR-410. It's a nice feature. As you'll see, if I press on the trigger here, you'll see that the bar shoots across the screen and comes back. That shows you how much clogging is going on within the system. Say, for example, I simulate a clog and press the trigger. You'll see that the bar shoots all the way across the screen and there's a CHK, that means check. Please check your unit because there's clogging going on and you need to perform maintenance on your nozzle and your station. So that's a really neat feature on the FR-410 that you'll find useful when you need to know when to perform the maintenance on the tool. Again, the clogging indicator, very useful tool to make use of. And again, I'm not going to go into all the other features like the password lockouts, auto shut off, auto sleep. Those are already in the unit. If you want to know more about them, you can visit our website under the FR-410 product page and find that information there, or you can email us at support@hakkousa.com. Moving right along, let's get into the different handpieces that you can use on the FR-410. You can use the gun type, like the one I have here, or we also have the pencil type handpiece that I have here. Two different types of handpieces that you can use. They both deliver the 140 watts of power to the nozzle, to your application. Now the nozzles, there's a total of, how many are there? 17 different nozzle shapes and styles that are available in the N61 series. And they range anywhere from 0.6 millimeter size all the way up to a 2.3 millimeter size nozzles are available. And they also cover oval shaped nozzles as well as extended neck type nozzles that you see there on the slide. And those extended neck type nozzles are very useful to get to components or solder joints that have surrounding components that are hard to reach. Those long neck type of nozzles are very useful in those type of applications. Now that I'm talking about the nozzles, I do want to go over one other very nice feature about our desoldering tools here. We have a what's called a quick change mechanism on our desoldering tools. Now, what the hell is a quick change mechanism, right? Let me show you. Actually, let me show you what our more conventional types of desoldering tools look like. They used to look like this, just like any other desoldering tool that you'll see out there in the market. And when you need to replace your nozzle or do the maintenance on your desoldering tools, you would have to take, we have a nozzle wrench, but you would have to take some sort of tool to unscrew here, remove the nozzle, perform your maintenance, change out your nozzle, whatever it is, and then again, screw on the enclosure nut again. It may not seem like that big of a hassle, but it is if you're using these tools every day, constantly. So what we did is we came out with a quick change mechanism, and what that allows you to do is you grab your nozzle wrench and remove it just like that. Makes it really easy when you're replacing the nozzle, when you're doing the maintenance, to change out your nozzle rather easily. So that's another big feature of our desoldering tools. It comes equipped on our FR-301s, the FR-410s, as well as our FR-400 desoldering stations. Let me just do a quick demo. I have a demo board here already installed. So this is the demo board, but I do have it, what it looks like, it looks something like this. This is a sample demo board. I have some small, medium, and large components. I soldered them on to the board, and on the back side, this is what it looks like on the back side. So we have the small here, the medium-sized components here, and the larger coils on the board here. So I'm going to start off by using the 1mm nozzle. By the way, the station comes already included with a 1mm nozzle, so that's the one I'm going to use for these solder joints. And I'll give you a quick demo. So what you want to do is melt, wiggle it around, make sure the pins are free. Oh, sorry. There you go. Wiggle it around and then desolder. Again, melt, wiggle it around, desolder. Melt, wiggle it around, desolder. And then the last little melt, wiggle it around, and desolder, and there you have it, component removed. Fairly simple process. So that was the medium-sized component that I showed you an example on. I also want to show you an example by removing these larger coils that you see here. And in doing so, I can't use the same 1mm nozzle that I have attached here. I'm going to switch out the nozzle. And in doing so, I can use a nozzle wrench to remove and replace the nozzle, but we also have this very nice accessory. We call it the quick change stand. It's called the C5046, and I really love this tool because again, it makes my life a whole lot easier. You can preload different size nozzles in each of these slots here, and check this out. All you have to do is insert it into one, twist, remove, go into the other one, and there you have it. The 2.3mm nozzle already installed. Again, makes my life a whole lot easier. Switching out the nozzle is very quick and easy. But just keep in mind, the nozzles that were sitting in the quick change stand, they are sitting at room temperature. So once you have the new nozzle installed, you have to wait maybe a minute or two to heat up the nozzle back to its proper settings. And while the nozzle is being warmed up, so to speak, let me go over the maintenance toolkit that comes with the station. So with the 410 and the 400 station, you do get a maintenance toolbox included. And inside of the toolbox, you will find an assortment of tools. You guys should also be seeing a slide of this as I'm going over this, but it comes with replacement filters for the cartridge, for the station, the nozzle wrench that I was using, the heater, cleaning pin, a cleaning drill for the nozzle, and a cleaning pin also for the nozzle as well. And you know, the nature of the desoldering tools, you're sucking up solder, it's passing through the system, so you do need to perform the maintenance when you're using these solder tools. But the procedure is pretty simple. So you want to get your cleaning drill first of all and clear out the nozzle opening like so. And you want to do this while the station is on and while the nozzle is hot, obviously. So you have the molten solder. Once you have the nozzle opening cleared out with the cleaning drill, then you want to take your cleaning pins and clear out the rest of your nozzle. Once you have that cleared out, grab your nozzle wrench, remove your nozzle, and you can press and hold the tabs, and that will hold the enclosure pipe in place. Set that aside for a minute. Then you want to grab your heater cleaning pin. That's what this is for. And you want to clean the inside of your heater core there's going to be solder, debris, some flux that's passing through the system. So you want to make sure you clear all of that out of the way. Once you get that done, you grab your nozzle and put it back in place. Now again, I'm going to reiterate this, but the quick change mechanism that's on our desoldering station really make it easy when you need to perform the maintenance on tools. When comparing to, the quick change method, comparing to having to twist and turn every time you have to remove the nozzle, the quick change mechanism really makes your life a whole lot easier. Now let me just see if the nozzles are already heated up. Yes, they are. So let me go back to this demo board, and like I said, I'm going to be removing, let me get this, removing these larger coils. This is the large sample I have, and those will be these two solder joints here. So here we go. There's one, just residual solder, and there's the other. And there you go, component removed. So even on the larger type of coils that I showed you here, by switching out the nozzles, the power, the 140 watts of power was enough power to remove that type of component. So yeah, there you have it. Then just make sure after you're done using it, you do tin your nozzles before you place them away in your stands. Like I was explaining a little bit earlier about the our desoldering tools, we have the FR-301, which is a handy desoldering tool. I can show you a little bit more in detail what that looks like since I have it here with me. That's this guy right here. The neat thing about the FR-301 is it's a direct plug into the wall. You can unplug, take it with you wherever you want. It still has the 140 watt heater, same as the FR-410, so it delivers the same amount of power as the FR-410. The cartridge, nice cartridge to collect the solder, empty out the solder when you need to. There's a built-in pump in the back, on-off switch in the back, vacuum trigger to activate the vacuum flow, and there's also a temperature dial on the bottom here to make any changes to your setting. You can change anywhere from a setting of 1 to 4. That's anywhere from 350 degrees Celsius all the way up to 500 degrees in Celsius on the FR-301. Again, direct plug-in, great for on-the-field type of service and repairs. And I also talked about the FR-400, which is our ultra heavy-duty desoldering station. Appearance-wise, it looks just like our FR-410, but the station itself is 320 watts of power, and to the handpiece itself, the handpiece is a little bit larger. The nozzles are larger, but to the handpiece, there is 300 watts of power, so it's more than twice the amount of power that you get from the FR-410. So those are not for every type of application, but more for your larger components and boards. If you're working on solar panel type of applications, those are good for those type of applications. To give you a better example, this is the demo board I will be using for the FR-400. These large coils that you see here with the larger thermal reliefs in comparison to the FR-410. All right, so these are demonstrating for ultra heavy duty types of applications. And I don't have the FR-400 out here with me because I consider it a different application. It's ultra heavy duty. So I'm thinking of covering that and also our ultra heavy duty soldering station all maybe in one episode. We'll call it the ultra heavy duty series. We'll cover the FX801 ultra heavy duty soldering station as well as the FR-400 ultra heavy duty desoldering station, and call it a ultra heavy duty series as well. That is about all I wanted to cover today. Going over the specs of the FR-410, going over the useful features, some of the useful features of the 410, showing you how the quick change mechanism works, That is really a selling point for these desoldering tools. Again, making everyone's life all that much easier when replacing the nozzles, when doing the maintenance on tools. And I was able to show you the maintenance, how to do the proper maintenance on these tools as well. So be on the lookout for, again, future episodes. And if there's anything that you want us to cover, make sure you email those topics to us. Or if you have any questions about today's episodes, about the 410, about the 301, or about the 400, make sure you email them to us at support@hakkousa.com. Okay? Again, thank you all for watching, and remember, keep your eye on Hakko. Thank you.